Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hedgin Lee with a daily update for the S&P 500 index. Now, the price hasn't done much since the last update, but I wanted to give you an update because I've been asked as to what the alternate scenario for the S&P 500 might be. And I think it's a pretty good time to put it into the awareness so that once you are aware of the probability and the scenarios, and even though it's an alternate, but if it does occur, at the very least, you're not shocked into panic, because awareness will have it so that you can say that scenario was an alternate count of mine, and that is happening. And because you were able to assess and analyze your alternate scenario, you are able to very quickly and swiftly change your primary to your next alternate, and then understand crystal clearly what the next options are. Okay, so let's just put this into review and then go into the alternate. It finished the triangle A, B, C, D, E. S&P 500, I believe, really likes to put in wedges, upward pointing wedges, as you can tell, and that's the personality trait of it. Now, the personality trait can change at times too. Sometimes maybe in the very small degrees of trends, like the hourly charts, it likes to do one type of pattern. And the longer term charts, it likes to do a different kind of pattern. And then they broke out in 5 waves, so I was counting this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the white circled waves. And if that's correct, I also said then we did this ABC correction. We have a wedge coming in for blue 1, and then we should correct down to around 2700. I think it's just starting to do that if we zoom in like this. And if that's the case, then that 2700 would be acceptable, the decline. It can even go maybe even lower than that, 26 something. It can do a retrace of 78% or 88%. Now, my alternate scenario shows that what can happen is that, okay, if we have this situation, I'll give you 2 alternates. From an Elliott wave perspective, we can be looking at this as the initial downdraft of the A. Then we can see this as A, B, and C. We might even get a bit of a higher high. So this would be the B wave, and then we would see the C wave decline. Something like this. Okay, and if this is the ABC, we can then clearly go down to a 2400 zone. So this would be, it is a technically correct count, and it would provide a good correction down back to the September levels. However, usually, if this is the case, at least for the S&P 500, corrections don't usually get dragged out so long. And it should be more swift than this. So this is one of the alternates. The other alternate, I think, is not as likely, but I'll put it on the table, is if we draw a horizontal line, and this is the resistance line, so price comes back here, like say, bounces off, back up. I did that wrong. Hold on. So what do we have? We could potentially have an ascending right triangle. So that's another potential event from a alternate scenario perspective. And that'll what? Drag out all the way into the fall? A little bit unlikely from a timing perspective, but clearly we can put it on the table for that. What is another alternate? I'll give another one. So all of these alternates go through my head. I'm fully aware of this while I'm analyzing it. So we have an A, B, could get a B, and a C. Get an expanded flat where B goes beyond the origin, above the origin of A, and the C goes below the bottom of A, getting into an expanded flat as well. So those would be the real biggest alternates that I have, but still, I'm going to come back to here and keep this as my primary for now and say, okay, I think price is now starting to break down the wedge of this white wedge, the bottom line of that wedge. Let's see if we can zoom in. There you go. See that? So it's done a bit of a piercing. You could reset the wedge and go back upwards, and I'll just have to redraw the lines. But if this is going to decline, we have a blue wave 2 in progress, I think, to maybe 2,700 or so. Maybe a little lower to maybe the high 2,600s. The reason is because here's a gap. And this gap could be filled, and if that's the case, that'll be 2,690. All right. I hope you found this to be helpful. And I hope many of you took advantage of the Founders Membership status for Bitcoin Live, which closed last night. We will be releasing higher prices soon on the Bitcoin Live site. And I hope you are able to take advantage of the heavily discounted Founder Membership prices as well. Have a good day.